Unless your internet service has been down for a while and you've misplaced your smartphone, it's pretty hard to ignore the barrage of real estate information that's coming at you these days. In this video, we're going to take an overall look at the whole real estate picture so you can feel confident that you're not swimming in dangerous waters and running the risk of losing some of your hard-earned money. I'm Rosalind Smith-Carr here at Johnson & Daniel in Toronto. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that your friends and relatives who may have missed this information can get to see it. We appreciate you doing that. There's a lot of conflicting information out there. Today we're going to give you a bird's eye view to help you move forward with your real estate plans. And we'll keep you informed as we go through this very interesting year of 2021. I'm sure you've seen those headlines saying that house prices are going to fall through the floor. And of course, cities like Toronto and Vancouver will be the hardest hit. So today, let's take a look at some of those headlines. First off, here is Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation suggesting a worst-case scenario of perhaps 50% decline in prices. Mortgage Broker News talks about a possible crash of Canadian real estate in 2021. The Motley Fool investment site is a little less pessimistic. They talk about a 14% decline in prices. But despite all the news and gloom that we hear, we keep seeing prices go up and up in Canada. What to make of it all? Here are some very recent stats from Toronto Real Estate Board. They're actually for the month of January 2021. Have a look through there and you'll see that the sales were definitely up in January. It was a great month. The inventory, however, is up only slightly. So we have an imbalance between the number of people looking for places and the number of places available for them to look at. The Bank of Canada plans to keep interest rates low until about 2023. Because of the availability of vaccines, they're assuming there won't be any more major lockdowns. Because of this, the Bank of Canada says that it has no plans to change its benchmark interest rate until inflation gets back to about 2%, which they don't believe will happen until the latter part of 2023. Now, it's important information to know about the interest rate, the state of the interest rate, because when the interest rates are staying low, more people can afford to get into the market and look to buy homes. And that's great news for sellers, but it's not so great news for buyers because of the bidding wars that it causes. So one man's meat is another man's poison. So what do you make of all these headlines? Doom and gloom on the one hand and optimism on the other. How does all this news information help you make a decision to buy or sell a home? How has COVID affected real estate so far? It's affected where people think they would like to live. Those who are fortunate enough to have kept their jobs are mostly working from home. We see how this has caused homeowners to rethink the space they have. With husband and wife and the children not in school, all at home in the same small space, it is causing a lot of tension, understandably. Many of them are opting to choose a larger home, be done with this business of moving, buy a home for the long haul so they don't have to think about it again. Sadly, others not so fortunate who've had job insecurity or have in fact lost their jobs, and they're faced with the dilemma of mortgage payments and rents that they can't afford. This is causing a problem as well. It's really going to depend on what happens with the COVID situation going forward with the second and subsequent waves that we're seeing. So far, things are looking more positive. Infection rates are going down and more people are getting vaccinated. This picture alone points to a healthy real estate market going forward in 2021 and beyond. So how are you supposed to make sense of all of this? How do you make an intelligent decision without risking losing thousands of dollars of your very hard-earned money? The key factors having major impact on your housing decisions are immigration, unemployment, interest rates, and of course, COVID. We began looking at the possibility of a huge market crash in 2021, and then we shared both the positive and the negative factors affecting the market. We took a brief look at the Toronto Real Estate Board sale numbers, and they look very healthy. We also briefly looked at interest rates, COVID, and their effect on Toronto house prices. However, the truth is, nobody can be absolutely certain. Keep in mind, every neighborhood has its own heartbeat. Therefore, if you want to get a good idea of what the market is doing in your particular neighborhood, do keep an eye on these three things. First, what is the speed of the market? How long are homes staying on the market before they sell? Number two, how many homes are for sale? How many choices are out there? What's the inventory like? And number three, what is the selling price compared to the asking price? To better navigate a minefield of uncertainty, the experience and guidance of a local real estate expert will get you safely to the other side. Our best advice is, bottom line really is, buy a house that you can afford and that you can live in for the long term. As long as you're holding it for the long term, say 5-10 years, then you should be able to weather whatever storm the market throws at you. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We do appreciate you watching. I hope you found some good advice here, and we'll see you next time.